Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be showing you how I made this lovely wedding gown. Okay, in a short notice, within 2 days I was done, and the wedding was supposed to be that weekend. So I made this dress and they dry cleaned it and did everything before the wedding day. Just 2 days preparation. Wow, so lovely, right? I have all my pattern being drafted out already, so I'm just going to be placing them on the material. I'll start by placing them on my doll face, but my pattern don't have allowance, so I'm going to be giving half-inch allowance when I'm cutting it, and then the same for all that. For my side, I'm going to be putting the allowance, which is 2. If you want to know how I draft my pattern, please check on the description box. I couldn't buy a pattern paper, so I decided to use the newspaper I have at home. So if you don't have pattern paper, you can use newspaper or any other paper that is long enough to be used. Okay, so after using my pattern to cut in my doll face, I use my doll face to cut my lining and also my fabric. I did the same for everything. I cut my center front, my side front. This is my side front, my side back, my center back. I use it to cut both my material, which is the material I'll be using for the wedding gown. That's the lace. So I use it to cut everything out before I went in to attach the the doll face to my lace. So next I'll be attaching my lining, which is my doll face, to my lace using my aiming gum. The aiming gum will make both to stick together, so that's what I usually do, so that it will not be flipping here and there when I'm sewing, so it just makes it look like one. I sprinkle water on it. If you have steaming iron, it's better. You can use your steaming iron to iron, but if you don't have, you can just repeat what I'm doing. So I've already added line stay on the front. Okay, as you can see, there's gum stay already at the front, and have attached the lace using the aiming gum. You can see that the lace is not removing any longer. That's because it has been stuck to the material. So next I'm going to attach this to the side of the center front, and also I'll attach the other side to it. So once I attach the two sides, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to place this way. I'll place it front facing each other, and then I'll start to stitch. When I get to this place, I'll bend it until it gets to the edge here. Okay, so I'm going to turn it this way and attach it to make sure it gets to the edge. So I've attached both sides. I'm going to notch this place. I'll notch it, open it wide. I'll notch it. I'll notch all the edges here. This sharp corner here, I'll notch it. I'll notch here to notch every side of it. After I'm done with that, I'm going to sew the back of the clothes. The same thing, both sides, except the zip part of it. And then I'm going to press it. When I'm pressing it, I'll open it this wide. Okay, so you see it. I'll open it this way and place my iron on it. That's because I want it to be very smooth at this other side. As you can see, it's not smooth. So I'll show you how I go about it. First, So say, so note, anything I do at the front bodice lace, I'm going to repeat it on the lining. So I'll set this aside. I'll sew the back of the clothes. Okay, there's the back here. There's the center back. There's the center back and the side back. So I'm going to attach it. Remember, this is where you place your zip. But before I do that, I'm going to trim all this excess, all this out. So this is my back. I'm going to sew this and keep it aside and sew the other part of it. So I'll trim all these excesses. Remember, I use my satin to place on my pattern. So I place my pattern on my satin. So this is the accurate one. So anything that comes out excess is not part of it. So I'm going to trim it out and then sew the back and the front. Then I'll come back to you. So I'm done with the side back. I'm done adding the side back to the center back, and this is how it looks like. Note, I didn't put any stay on the back. I didn't use any stay, but I did use paper stay for the lining. So to make the lining thicker, this day they don't sell original things in the market. So the lining is so soft, but to make it a little bit thicker, I added paper stay to it so that it will be thicker than soft. Okay, so this is the back of the clothes. So right now I'm going to press it with my iron, and when I'm done I'll show you how perfectly curved everything, all the angles will just pop out, including the bust part of it. This is the lining. I'm just showing you the front of the lining. Everything will just pop out once it is being pressed. Okay, this is the front of it. So once I'm done ironing, pressing this clothes, you will see how everything will come out smoothly and well. Okay, so now I'm done pressing everything. You see how flat it is right now because it's been pressed. Okay, that's the back. This is the other side of the back. This is where to add the zip. Okay, this is the lining for the back, and this is the other lining for the back. So we'll be starting with the front first. We'll be attaching the front to this. So this is it, how to attach it. So front facing each other while the back will be showing outward. So I'm going to be using my aiming gun to attach it at the top edge. So this is my aiming gun. So I place it under the foot, the machine foot, then on top of this. That is after I place the back on the front facing each other. Okay, then I place my aiming gun. I'm going to stitch it around the neck. Oh sorry, I'm holding the camera with one hand, so I'm just going to pause this and run it around the neck, and then come again to show you what I will do next. Okay, this is it. This is how it looks like. So but because I didn't get the accurate measurement from the person that will be wearing this dress, so in order for me to be able to adjust it fast for her, I'm not going to sew this invisible. I'm not going to tuck everything inside. I'm just going to run a stitch here so that when she's going to wear this weekend. And I started this clothes yesterday, which was on Tuesday. So I want to finish this clothes and then send it over to her for her to do all her amendments. Also send it to her for her to dry clean it before she wears it. So it's just going to be, it's something that I just have to do. So I'm not going to tuck everything in. So in order for me to make this perfect for her, I'm just going to run a small stitch here down the side. Okay, well, look at how it looks like now. Okay, after I finish running the neckline, I'm going to come and run the side here so that I'll turn it inside out, and if she wants to make any adjustments, it will be easy for her to do that. Note, I use hemming gum while running the stitch on the side, on both sides. I use hemming gum. This is because I'm going to press it after this, and once I press it, it will be so smooth and sharp and nice. Okay, so I'm going to turn it inside out for you to see how it is before I make the same thing I did on the front. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the back of the clothes. Turning it inside out, make sure you notch the neck, that is the other side. Make sure you notch it before you turn it inside out. So this is how the side looks like now. So I'm going to press it and I will show you how it looks like. I'll repeat the same process on my back, the back of the clothes. So this is what I'm going to do on the back. I'm going to use my hemming gum to run the stitch here, down here, also down to the side. So I explained the reason why I'm not going to be running it inside out for it to be invisible, just so that she can quickly make adjustments, because the other way around, when you are tucking everything inside, it will make it difficult for you to amend, although it's not something that is impossible. It is possible, but in order for it to be quick. So I'm going to run a stitch here with my hemming gum and down to this place. Make sure it's not going to be big, just small thing, not. So I'm going to press all the side with my iron. I'll press the neck, there's the back, and then one side of the back. The other side of the back, I'm going to press it with iron. This is the sew edge that I sewed. You see how it is, and very neat. So I'm going to use my hand to press it. Same thing I'll do with my front. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to be attaching this to this and this other part to this. So that's the next stage. So I press it very flat. So I'm done pressing it. So you see the way the zip part is. After I'm done, I finish pressing it. I attach the shoulder back to the shoulder front to each other, front facing each other, and then I stitch. So after I was done stitching, if you turn it this way, you will see that it's become invisible. That is the part that you stitch becomes invisible. So this is how the shoulder looks like. So when I was done attaching the shoulder, then I had to do this off camera too, because I have limited time to give this to the dry cleaner. As you can see, because I was using a charcoal iron to iron, it got stained, so I'll have to give this to the dry cleaner before the wedding day. So this is it. after this is how the dress looks like. So the bodice is done. Okay, what is left now is to attach the gathers to it. So I want to stitch on the edge of the material. Okay, for the gather, this is like 6 years of lining. Okay, I use 4 years. This 4 years of lining. So I want to stitch on the edge of this lining, and then I want to stitch on so I want to stitch here. So I want to stitch here. So I also want to stitch on the satin, just that I'm already dragging it off camera. So I located 2 ropes from the side and I start pulling it. So I'm not done yet. I'm still doing it, so it's yet to be completed. So I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done with this satin and the main fabric. So after drawing the sleeve, I had to put this on top of the satin, and then I'm combining both together so that when I want to sew it, it won't be dragging. So I'm going to be sewing it this way. So now I'm adding my 3rd layer. So once I add it, I'm going to be fixing it on my garment. So I'm just going to run a stitch straight so that the 3 of them will stay together. That's what I'm going to do next. So now that I'm done, you can see how it looks like, although it's very thick, but yeah. So I'm going to cut all the excesses around from the sleeve. So you know that we attach the shoulder and then we sew this, we pressed it off camera. Okay, remember? So I had to adjust to get the measurement right. So this is where we are at the bodice. So right now we're going to trim the sleeve round, and then I'm going to cut the sleeve and fix it on this top, and we'll be right. So now I am fixing the sleeve. First of all, I pin the sleeve round the armhole of the dress, so that to know if it perfectly fits the sleeve, the armhole, that is the sleeve to the armhole. So after I finish pinning it round, I'm going to sew it round. I'll sew it round and I'll show you how it looks like when I'm done sewing. So this is how to sew it. You place it, but make sure this edge is to this edge, and that's the essence of pinning it. You can see, okay, this edge is, there is this place where you join the sleeve, it tallies to this place. So that's the essence of pinning it to the dress. Okay, so you sew it round, and after sewing it out round, you have your sleeve already done, perfectly done like this. So I'm done with this first sleeve, so I'm just going to do the second sleeve. Okay, and when I'm done, I'm going to either weave this place, or I'm going to cover it with another fabric in order for this not to lose out and for it to look very neat. So that's what I'm going to be doing after fixing the two sleeves. So I'm done with both sleeve. I'm done with both sleeve. So next I want to attach the down, that is the gather, to my bodies. And once I'm done attaching both, I'm going to be putting in my lining. And note the three things I use for my gather. Okay, so I use my lace material, satin, and adamant. Okay, this is it, my lace, bright satin inside and the net outside. So these are the three things I use first of all before I'll be adding my lining, so that the clothes will not be shocking will not be disturbing the person wearing it. I mean, so yeah, you go ahead and put the edge of the cloth to this, like this, and stitch down. Okay. So I had the lining. This is the lining. This is the front of the dress, and this is the gather. So I folded it together. That is the front and the gather together, like this way, and then place my lining on top of the front, so that when it goes down, you see the way it covers all the rough parts. Okay, well, remember I left one inch here. This 1 inch, I want to use it to cover the zip of the toe, so I just left it here. So just watch what I'm going to be doing. So this is what I was explaining. Okay, this is how I joined it from here, this other side. So I folded the two together. Camera is not clear, so folded the two together, put the up and down. After doing that, I placed my lining on top, facing the bodies, from the bodice parts. Okay, see, from the bodice part I place my lining, and then once you drop it, this is how it looks like. So this is how neat it will look like. So next stage is to close both sides. I'm going to hold this side to the other side so that I can attach my zip. So I'll close this part, this side from the back where the zip is going to be attached. I'm going to put them together and then close it. So this is it, this side and this side attached together. I'm going to pin it together, okay, so that I will know how equal it is. So this is the bodice and this is the gather. This is the bodice, this is the gather. Now I'm going to pin these two sides together. Once I finish pinning them together, I'm going to check the down and see if they are equal. Then I will run a stitch from down and stop where the zip is going to end. Thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more amazing videos, not just sewing but wonderful videos. Do where to give this video a thumbs up, share and like.